Smack that thing.
Got it. Chaps chat. Cats. Oh, here we go on another episode of the Chaps Chat Cats. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between, welcome to another episode of the Chaps Chat Cats. My name is Jake Botel, and I'm joined in the Zoom studios by Johnny and Sambo. How are you, chaps?
Fantastic.
Good. Psyched to be here. I feel like the live show, of all the shows, the live shows are the ones we struggle to get a full contingent on the most. So it's always a momentous occasion when all three of us are here.
Absolutely, totally agree with you. It's one of those rare occasions where all the stars align. We all get to enjoy each other's company live and in the flesh. Johnny, how are you doing?
Ben, pretty
over
good.
there?
Pretty fantastic.
Pretty good.
Pretty
You're going to
fantastic.
say good, then you
Pretty
said pretty
excited.
good. Pretty fantastic now.
Yeah, it's getting higher and higher each time.
John's back on that
Every
horse
second.
again.
I know.
That's right.
Higher and higher.
Every moment we're just getting better and better. Big game tonight, chaps. Big game.
Huge game.
My intestines are in an absolute knot about this one. How are you guys just feeling nerves level ahead of this one? I mean, we've got a shitty 2 weeks, really, in my opinion.
Until
2 weeks.
Until you said something, my nerves were fine, and now they're shot to the absolute shit house.
My nerves are all right. I haven't had a chance to think about it. I think my nerves never really settle in until we're playing the outro music.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, it's a reality. Shit's about to
now
go
we're going to
down.
watch footy.
Yeah.
Time to get
yeah.
loud.
Yeah, I think it's going to be peak as I'm heading back inside into the house proper and sitting down to watch. I think I'll be on the edge of my seat.
Absolutely.
At best. That's if I'm even sitting down.
I don't know. I
That's if
tend
you
to
can
sit
eat, yeah.
down. If I stand up, I move around far too much. Get a bit too.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're a nervous pacer. I'm sometimes a bit of a nervous pacer, actually. Yeah.
Up and
So
like a bit of a dickhead when they score a magnificent goal, like Cameron's 6th goal last week.
Well, and it's one of those things, this game, chaps, where it's developed into a kind of a sneaky rival, not even so much sneaky. I don't know when this started exactly.
I mean, I wasn't
I
even
don't think
aware
it was.
that they were-
I don't think it was just last season either. I feel like this probably goes back. Maybe it started during the COVID season, because remember we beat them in a final, possibly up in Brisbane, I think, or at least
I
up
believe it
on
was
the
a
Gold
prelim
Coast.
final. At the
Yeah. There's just been a bit of niggle the last few years, and
I feel like
no
it's
one
been-
seems
I feel like it's been more on their end.
more on there.
Yeah, I don't know. Tommy Stewart dumping Cameron over his shoulder looked a little bit on our end.
Gary Rowan.
I
And
think more
Lockie
the way
Neal and
Yeah.
they're the way they're talking it up throughout the whole week. It's they're the ones going, this is a rivalry, this is a massive rivalry, and we've got to teach them a lesson. We've got to go out there and show them who's the boss. And the Cats that are standing back going, yeah, we'll just go about our own week. We'll worry about our pre-game. You worry about trying to build something that's probably not truly there. So you have that little
We
bit.
do what we do. So you don't feel a real rivalry here between the two teams, John?
Not
For
really.
yourself?
Not really. I feel like the Cats would just treat it as any other game. It's not like a Hawthorn one where they go.
John's now being Chris Scott. But what about for you?
That's
John?
right. This is a Chris
This
Scott
is the
from
question.
John. I like it.
Don't palm it off on them. What do you feel, John?
Yeah, as a fan, do you hate them?
I had any team that's not the Cats.
We should have seen that answer coming.
Yeah. I just think, lads, this is
Sorry,
a
Jack,
tough week. Like,
Bulldogs are all
this is a tough lineup. Lions into the scum, I feel like is full on for me. This is just going to be a nerve-wrack 2 weeks. The fact that the Easter Monday game against the scum is like the last thing, like it really caps off your weekend. I guess on the plus side, Well, no, I was going to say maybe it'd be worse if it was a Friday night game or a Thursday night, and then your whole weekend's tainted by it. But really, at least if it was that, you could maybe cleanse the palate with some other sport over the weekend. Whereas Monday, it's like Tuesday through until the next game is tainted if you lose to them.
Absolutely.
I feel like.
And I tell you what,
let's
the weeks changed. Like this week after the win was so quick because you're like, can't we have a little bit more time? We just did all that work and won. Like you want more time to bask. But when you've lost and you're trying to redeem yourself, it's a long 5 to 7 days.
Chaps, I don't want to hurt anyone's hearts right now, but there's been some late news with the Cats. And there's a late
Agent O theme from him. Sorry.
Tom Stewart is a late out for the Cats.
No.
Correct. Just the hoops. The hoops has just posted on Twitter. Tom Stewart, a late out for Geelong. So we're now without Tom Stewart.
I'm hoping that the hoops are a week behind and they think it's April 1st.
I'm also checking on the
Jesus Christ
AFL website. So
this is not good.
Changes. Ratagalia is out injured.
Okay.
And Tom Stewart also out.
Benched so he doesn't concuss Cameron.
Has he's suffered a bout of gastro.
Oh, what the?
Oh my God!
What is going on down there in Geelong? What is happening?
Oh,
They're eating some bad.
goodness me!
Some bad fish with their chips. What's happening?
Must have been that
my
food
God.
that Collingwood served up at the MCG last week.
Did you hear that, guys? There was dead air there. There was like 3 seconds of dead air. It's the first time in how many episodes are we at now? First time that we've just been
had to
lost
respond
for words.
to the hoops. I had to say something on Twitter. Like that's holy crap, boys. That sort of reshuffles a whole lot of things. Like we want to get into the review proper here. I was going to talk about the fact that, you know, going off last week, the miraculous come from behind victory against the Lions and now against the Pies and now going into this match against the Lions. Like, I don't think Geelong is under any illusions. I don't think we're under any illusions that this is not a perfected football team. There's still lots to be done over the next 19, 20 weeks to get in any sort of shape to win the premiership. We've got Geelong's rotation policy in full force. Joel Selwood given the long break ahead of Easter Monday against the Scum. Mark O'Connor, I think, is returning to the side, playing a tagging role on Lachie Neale. They're never being referred to as their name again. It's just the Scum from here on out.
I like it.
Which he did admirably in the first meeting between these teams last season. This, to me, boys, the stiffest test for Geelong of the first month. I think Brisbane are probably a better side than Sydney. They're in red hot form. They just belted North Melbourne by 100 points. They are making a big deal of this rivalry game. Chris Fagan has talked a lot about, Geelong like to put the foot down on other teams, who are upcoming. Like he's really tried to put it back on Geelong and say, they really like to punch down at the teams that are coming up. I guess we've talked initial thoughts as we go into this game. So specifically, I want to ask you, do you think this game against an opponent who are going to feature as a top 8, probably top 4 contender, do you think it's possible to land early psychological blows against each other this early in the season? Or do you think it's not a big deal? Johnny, I'll let you have first crack, but I want 2 individual answers from you guys, even if it's the same thing. Johnny, what's your thought? Is this a big game mentally?
I feel like it's a big game for Brisbane Lions. I feel like they're treating it as a finals type game that they must win to save their season. Whereas the Cats are sort of going, well, it's round 4. We don't want to go out there and give all our steam all our energy into one game that we have to win. Like, we don't have to win it tonight. We're still in a fairly all right position if we don't come out on top tonight. But I feel like they're just going to go in at any other game, treat it as any other opponent that they come up against. They're not going to go, yeah, we have to beat the Lions because they're coming to want to smash us around. That's on them. Let them try and smash us around. We'll just play the new type of football we're playing. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's basically how I feel the Cats are going into this. It's just
Do you agree with that, Sambo?
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree as much as I think that's how the Cats should be approaching it. I couldn't guarantee you that's how they are approaching it. Like, in terms of, there's a lot of narrative going on, like if this is a rivalry or not. It was definitely a rivalry last year. There was a narrative through that game with the way it played out, and then through to the great blow. I think there was beaten us down at our home park. Oh,
Right, you're back. You're back.
my internet bottomed out a bit there. That beaten us at the home ground, right?
I can't remember when the last time was that they got over us. Like last season, they haven't beaten us in Kardina since 2003. Did you? Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, so I agree with.
I knew there was a big stat.
Yeah. So this is a big game for them. This is a massive game for them as a team that's on the up. Given that we did knock them out of finals, this is a massive game for them. So it's going to be interesting to take away from it, because the Cats definitely seem to be in this management system of going, we've been up and about for a long time. Our perspective on how you do this seems to be very different from teams who are just now on an upswing. Like Geelong, having been there every year, kind of are analysing the equation a little differently to teams who are only starting their summit sort of thing. So I think I agree with both your assessments, and it feeds into a lot of what I've been watching with like the hurling league recently. You know, different teams approach the early season differently. The teams that kind of feel very confident that they'll be there later tend to rotate players. They tend to be a little bit more cautious early on and really try and build, some sort of progress and steady increase in performance across the season, where other teams are really trying to find where their best footy's at.
Big bold prediction. Sorry, from the Hoops show.
Yes.
Big bold prediction. Cats by 40 plus, even without it. Woohoo!
Well, that would be a massive result. That to me, if that was true, if the Cats went out and hammered them tonight, that to me, I don't know if it does something for Geelong or not, but I feel like that would do something to you as a Brisbane player. If you go down there and Geelong without Selwood and without Stewart, and Geelong handled you, you feel like there'd be some hard questions asked. Chaps, what do you think of this rotation policy? Sam, I'll go to you first on this one. Selwood's been rested. They managed Higgins earlier in the season. This is, by all reports, what they're going to be doing, across the year. Managing talent in and out across the 22 regular season games. Do you like the process and the commitment to it? And which Cats do you think are going to need to step up big tonight without Selwood and now Stewart?
I do sort of like it. It makes me nervous for sure to see big names rested and stuff, but I think it makes a lot of sense for where we're at in our development, trying to get the younger players and newer players some time on the field. I think it will feel a lot better when we have a fuller contingent, when Menegola, Zegler, and Rowan are all back, like in the mix to be coming in and out. Because they're definitely all three of those are definitely plan A players, so they might be managed and rotated as everyone is, but they're definitely ones that you'd like to have in the mix. You'd like to and then put Segler in. Like that's that's So yeah, it makes me nervous, but I can see why they're doing it. I think it makes a lot of sense for the development. And I'll pass over to Johnny because I kind of got two questions, but I'll just put in one name. I'll chuck in Jack Henry. I think tonight's the night. Sans Stewart, tonight is the night for Henry to really, really step up because he's had a solid start to the year. But we need him to be like miles better than solid tonight.
The Hoops Show again comes in with another comment. As long as we have, oops.
Oh God, was
Oh,
that
God.
some kind of bad omen?
I hope that's not a bad omen.
Oh, fuck.
The Hoop Show says, as long as we have Dalhouse, we'll be fine. Absolutely. He was cracking in that last quarter last week, so that's going to be
I love
for the
the
whole game.
Hoops Show love to needle the anti-Dalhouse crowd. The
Nice.
Dalhouse doubters, the Dalhouse detractors. I've noticed this is a bit of fun for the Hoops Show, who I think genuinely believes in Dalhouse, but I think it's a lot of fun. You go on, Johnny, with your point about which players you expect to see stand up in the absence of the regular leadership.
I was going to pick the obvious choice in not Joel Selwood, but Brandon Parfitt. But I'm going to pick Quentin Narkle. He's come in to fill some fairly big shoes. There's a late change in for Tom Stewart and Radiclia, and also Selwood not being there. I feel like this is a really big opportunity for him to really stake a claim in that best 20.
Great call.
So yeah, I feel like he's got a big opportunity to really show what he's got and show that he belongs in that team.
Absolutely. I see Ollie Dempsey listed as an emergency with Brian Myers and Zach Guthrie. I continue to be excited about Ollie Dempsey, who keeps being... Yeah, go.
I continue to be confused as to why Zach Guthrie's not out there. But anyway.
Interesting, especially with the absence of some of those, now with Stewart out. Yeah, very interesting because a player who has played a bit in the system.
I get the rotational thing, but multiple games in a row now.
Well, and was Guthrie managed, rested, or was he dropped?
Omitted.
You would have to think.
I think when he first went out, it was just omitted. Yeah.
Interesting. Chaps, the youth obviously blossomed, but has it truly bloomed? That's the question. Max Holmes, Sam de Koning, Tyson Stengel, Brad Close, all figured largely in key moments of the last week's fourth quarter comeback. Do you think we can expect to see them playing at that level from bounce one tonight, or should we continue to temper expectations for this team as we move through the opening half of the season? And whose footy out of that sort of young bunch have you liked so far this season? I'll go to you, Johnny, first. Do you think we'll see more of the same? And whose footy have you liked most?
I think we'll see more of the same, but I also don't think we can't just go expect them to play like they have been throughout the entire year. Like they're blooming. They haven't bloomed yet. I think if we say they bloom, then we're basically saying
they're in the process.
This is the best they can get, which is far from it. Like Holmes can get far better. Close can get much better. Stengel can even get a lot better. So they're blooming. I would say temper expectations as well. Don't expect them to play at that level every single week, but expect that they will find a way to get there when they need to. And I feel like they can. And Holmes is, fantastic at finding that little extra when the sort of team needs it. I feel like even Close. But they temper expectations, but expect them to put in good performances and show some great things throughout the game as well.
What about you, Sambo?
I agree. I think we are put a bookmark in mid metamorphosis is where we're at with the young ones. I think it's a process and it's ongoing. I don't expect them to come out the gate the way they finished last week, but I do expect them to reach those heights at some point throughout the game. The thing I'm interested at is, as we know, Brisbane are a pack of dirty shites, and they will be pot stirring, and they will be niggling,
Dirty shite bags.
and it's going to be quite a test for some of those younger guys who maybe haven't had the experience dealing with that kind of stuff. Like, will we see some boilovers? Will we see some even just will that impact their skill and their composure? I hope not, but it'll be an interesting test. I liked Holmes. I think he's of all the young recruits. I think his year has shown a really marked improvement over last year. I would have picked Zach Guthrie if he was still in there, but he's not. So yeah, I'd go Holmes or Stengel's an interesting one. I think he's shown real flashes. Week 1, he was kind of where we wanted him to be, and since then, it's been just spits and spurts of what we'd really like to see from him. And tonight, I think, is another night for him to step up against this team, and because I think he's the kind of player. He's a little bit of a Brisbane Lions type, their own medicine in front of goal and around that 50. That'd be really nice.
I really hope that tonight's crowd is like raucous, because that's something I've noticed. It's a hard thing when you're up and about for a long time, and fans get used to winning, and they get used to. You kind of forget sometimes, I think, to bring that raw passion. I went back and had a listen to the Cats fans at the MCG when that comeback was on, and it was an ocean of sound. I went back and had a listen to the comeback a few years ago against the D's where Zach Tui kicked the goal. I go back to Isaac Smith kicking the winner against these Brisbane Lions where the whole ground erupted. Like, we want Kardina Park to be an inhospitable place to come. We don't want Glasgow Rangers, broken bottles on the field, but we do want noise level, making things uncomfortable.
I'm assuming the Hoops is going, so we're looking at you, Hoops, to
Yeah.
get the crowd raucous.
Yeah, as far as inhospitableness goes, I don't want to see the level of booing that we had for Selwood last week. I've been honest in the past with my my gripes with booing, but I think a crowd that's just going for their team, you know what I mean, really hard, can be a really confronting thing. Like, that's what I really want to see. That thing that, like, against Sydney, up at Sydney, that was like a wall of just energy that the Cats had to just crash against, and not to say that Kardina Park doesn't or can't do that, but that's just specifically, like you're saying, Jake, that's what we need tonight to overcome these Lions. Is just an absolute wall of sound that just crushes their spirits.
The Hoop Show, again, with another comment.
Hoops.
The Hoops says, let's hope Stengel and Myers gel together well. Absolutely. I didn't think of that until I brought it up just now, but yeah, hopefully they gel well. I feel like they will. Like, his singles gelled pretty well with Close and Dalehouse so far, so fingers crossed that continues.
I'd like to see both. I'm looking at both of those lads for some of those pick up and snap goals that I was talking about in our show earlier in the week. That I want to see some goals that aren't set shots.
Absolutely.
I want to see some snaps and some bananas and like some along the ground ones rolling in. I want to see some of those fast goals coming in, because if we're playing fast football, we need fast goals.
Well, on that fast football, Chaps, I'll just give you some stats that illustrate the change. Everyone's, with everyone sort of pretty familiar with Geelong's style the last few years of the high possession footy and high marking numbers, the change is marked in the stats. The Cats rank 9th for disposals. That was a category they would have been top 2 or 3 the last however many years. They are 16th for kicks, so almost bottom of the league for the amount of kicks per game. They are 5th in handballs this season. The Lions, very much the opposite. The Lions rank 2nd in kicks. They rank 15th in handballs, so it's a very different style of footy. Disposal efficiency, very similar between the two teams, around that 73% mark, which is sort of middle of the table in the league. Clearances, both top four. The Cats are second, the Lions fourth. Tackles, both in the bottom half of the league. Cats slightly ahead of that. The marks, this is a big stat. The Cats currently rank second fewest in the league for marks per game, with just 75.7 marks per game. The Lions, the first ranked team in that, with 107 marks per game. Shots on goal per game, the Cats are second, the Lions are first.
Oh.
And inside 50s, the Cats are third, the Lions are first. They score at a very similar rate. The Cats get a score every 2 entries inside 50. Brisbane every 1.9 entries, so basically the same thing. The Cats averaging a goal every 3.8 inside 50s. The Lions average one every 3.7 inside 50s. So a very different, a clash of styles, but very similar levels of production on the score sheet. I want to know, chaps, because obviously they're gonna stick with the style, aren't they? They're gonna stick with the style regardless of match, how it goes, because that's the process that they've committed to. So on an individual level, what player are you looking to tonight? Who are you going to be watching closely? I'll go to you first, Johnny. Just someone you're going to be focused in on for the Cats.
I'm going to have to pick another good one because I said the Koning last week and he was a good one to watch. So I don't think I'll back that up, but I'm going to pick... I think Quinton Narkle. I'm going to go with the guy who's got a big chance to have a really big night with Narkle. Same reasons. He's got a perfect opportunity to cement his spot, so keep an eye on him.
Sambo?
Yeah, perfect. I've talked about a few of the young blokes, Holmes, Stengel, and Myers, etc. I'm going to pick an older bloke. I'm going to go with Johnny's man love here. I'm going with Guthrie.
Oh no.
Because I think not only to watch him because he's somewhat of an under the radar kind of player a lot of the time. His input is not always super flashy, but just after the what happened last week with him during the centre bounces, I think watching him during the centre bounce specifically is going to be a really good tell-all of how much we're throwing everything in the wind here at this game, how safe we're playing it. So I'm really intrigued to watch him at the centre bounces and see at what points, when in the game during the quarter, at what points he does that peel off and just goes for the run regardless of who the ball goes to. I'm gonna pick Guthrie because of his input and also of what he might tell us about the Cats' approach tonight.
Beautiful.
I could go with a player like Mark O'Connor, who'll be probably tagging Lockie Neal. You could talk about Dangerfield needing to stand up with Selwood out. But I'm going to focus in on Mark Blixarves, who is kind of a handyman player who rolls around the ground, plays a lot of different roles. But he's now, if you look at that back line up, if you go Jack Henry, Sam De Koning, Jake Collar-Jasny, Mark O'Connor, and Mark Blixarves, I wonder too if tonight we'll get Zach Tui roll back with Stewart out of the side. But really, Mark Blixarves is the elder statesman down back. He is the experienced player. So I'm really going to be interested to see how he stands up, because I think for years and years he's been an underrated player, Blixarves, for the Cats. Not amongst Cats fans, I don't think, but around the league. So I'm going to be very interested to see what his role is tonight, because he and De Koning really are the two marking backs. I guess Jack Henry as well, but Blixarves the experienced man.
Now the Hoop Show with another fantastic comment. He's asking for a bold prediction from yours truly. He asks if I can pick it 2 weeks in a row. Ooh.
Can you answer the call, John?
I'll try my best.
Can you answer the call?
I'll try my best.
I've got a really safe prediction. Lockie Neal's going to be a prick. Easy money. Easy money, that one.
Cash.
My bold
Cashed.
prediction: Stengel to kick 3 or more goals tonight.
I'd love it. I'd love it. That would be phenomenal.
That'd be fantastic. All snaps as well.
All right.
I'll go even one further.
All of them.
All of them.
How many check side?
All right, I'll throw out a bold prediction as well. My bold prediction is that Sam De Koning does a big job tonight down back in the absence of Tom Stewart.
No,
I
it's
think
not like it.
Sam De Koning will SDK will step up in a big way, in a way you might not expect a youngster to step up and fill the void. I think he'll take a lot of confidence out of last week's swing up forward, and I think he'll approach the task down back with renewed vigor this week. So Sam De Koning, that'd be my bold one, to be among Geelong's best players tonight. Fantasy lineups. I mean, this is an interesting one, Dan,
I've been
because
butchered
surely
again.
I've been thinking about it.
you've been butchered again.
Poor Sam.
Tom Stewart out.
And
Who else?
Rat.
Is that the only?
No,
Oh,
Big Rat's my forward. Ah.
oh my God! All right, so live on the show.
I need to
Sam,
intentionally start making shit fantasy sides so we only lose bad players to injury.
Oh
Do you have
my
any players
goodness. No,
left in your side,
one minute. Use not. Radaglia is not your forward. You currently have Reece Stanley as your forward. So it's
I
only,
did. I swapped them out before the game last
Yeah.
week, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So who do you want to bring in then for Tom Stewart down back? Do you want to? Maybe we'll sort this out off air. But needless to say,
Yeah.
Sam's fantasy
Shit.
team is going to need a swing. Johnny can go in unchanged. I can
think
go
I
in
will.
unchanged.
Oh, yeah.
So
no.
Sam will be, Sam will have changes. All right, guys, you can listen to
is-
us. I wasn't sure if Sam was getting emotional or the
Oh, yeah.
internet. I'm not sure. They might have got him this time. They
Well, I
might
was
have got
getting
him
both.
Oh, okay.
He's back. Is he?
That's it. That's the episode. That was up and down. I've got to say, that was fly by the seat of our pants stuff, this
Another
episode.
roller coaster already.
The live show sometimes. I hope that isn't indicative of how the Cats are going to go tonight, because it could be an absolute schmozzle. Sam's got a very creepy smile face on there. He's been frozen in a creepy, on a creepy still. It's like a murderous grin on Sam's face. Gosh, I hope we win. Oh, but you know what?
So do I. Beat the scum.
If we had to lose to the Lions tonight, if I've got to pick one that we lose out of this week or next, I'd take this week and beat the scum next week. Got to be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to lose either. But if we had to, at least we've got the excuse to lean on that Stewart and Selwood both didn't play.
Yeah. We've got some reasons why we may not have played at our best. We had Stewart out, we had laid out. We're at Gastro, let's do this spread through the entire team this time.
Exactly. All right, guys, enjoy the game. We'll be back with a full recap for you late Monday night. We'll do the final wheel of grades for the AFLW season on Wednesday. Until then, go the Mighty Cats.
Go the Cats!